really evenly poised, unbelievably poised in favour of the London Scholars at the moment. They lead 6-4. Can they see it through to victory? Let's rejoin our commentary team, Terry, Barry and Ben.
Well, as London Scholars prepare to kick off this match, it's worth remembering that 12 years ago this month, Oldham were in World Club Championship action on Sky Sports against Adelaide Rams, while tonight's opponents were in their first season as London Scholars playing in the Southern Conference. As you say, well, incredibly, it's London Scholars who lead, and Janssen determined to do something about it in these early stages for Oldham. Jason Bolt it is now.
Jimmy Janssen made a really strong charge and then threw the ball away. They need to respect possession, be more direct and win that flow. Get to the other end of the pitch as soon as you can.
Robinson played the ball. This is Goulden now. Good tackle coming in from Vine. Now Roden. This is Robinson again. Second involvement for the substitute in this set of 6 as Coyle gets the ball away to Neil Roden. Gets the kick in under pressure, and Fountain is first to react. Took it well and launched the counter well. And so London Scholars in possession for the first time in this second period.
Jermaine Coleman, the man in your picture, will be really happy. His side, the London Scholars, they only missed 1 tackle in that first half. If you look over at Tony Benson, they missed 11. They made 11 handling errors and 6 missed tackles. Now I think that's where they've really got to improve, because the Scholars just seem to be getting through the set to 6. Tony Benson will be really unhappy. Defence-orientated coach, he likes to really slow down the ruck and play at his speed.
A different half-time talk from Tony Benson tonight, you feel, against the last time that they played against the London Scholars. They led 48-4 at half-time on that occasion. Somewhat different complexion on the scoreboard tonight as Vine takes the ball up for the Scholars now. Spencer waits. Sims just drops the ball off, and then on the bounce it finds Fountain on the last tackle. Going to be the turnover. Thomas is caught. Not the best last tackle option there from Matt Thomas. Blood on the shirt of Onyango, so a blood bin substitution called by the referee, Greg Dolan.
But again, a real confident start in this second half. The first time they have the ball, it was a bad kick by Roden, really. They caught the ball on the 40, they were going forward, played really direct. The second phase they were getting because they were running really hard. Lucas Onyango now behind play, that's why players continued. But again, real good speed off the mark from this Scholars side.
Happy to say that just the shirt was substituted as far as Onyango was concerned. This is Oldham, though, trying to break out of their own half here. Just 10 metres away from their own line, in fact, as Goulden picks up possession. Coleman is there. Manages to get the ball away, though. That's Russo tackled by Spencer. Coyle for Goulden this time, and Goulden with a good pass finds Greenwood. Greenwood shrugs up a couple. Still trying to get the ball away, and that just wasn't an option there.
You're right, Ben. There was no way in the world that ball was going to get free then. He didn't have a good grip on that ball, and there was no way. All he seemed to do was try to pat it back, and it just drops down. Concede knew he'd made a mistake. He tried to pat it back, but the Scholars pounced on it.
In the shape of Hodgson, who's given his side a great position here.
Hold, go.
This is Coleman. Short pass this time for Prison. Janssen upstairs.
Go.
Nissen finds Coleman. Stooping to collect. That was Thorman, and it's an intelligent kick into the in-goal area.
Drop out.
Onyango was trying to just let that ball go out, but in the end he had to take evasive action. He had to touch the ball, and that's given London Scholars a repeat set.
That little dink by Paul Thorman, he used that a couple of times in the first half. Onyango just got back in time, but a goal line dropout and repeat possession for the London Scholars.
Wait for him.
Here is that dropout from Neil Roden. It's reasonable distance on it, but Thorman is solid under it, just over that halfway line. Prison now.
Move. Hold.
Important tackle from Bolt first up, before Prison could build up that head of steam. Here is Sims.
Away, guys. 2. Move. Hold.
Honor. Vine.
They just look to be setting up nicely. In a good midfield position. Looking on the right.
Play on, he's come back.
Coleman's pass isn't the best.
That's enough on the floor though, guys.
Surrendered possession in the end.
Come down, guys, hold the
Great
ball.
opportunity for the Scholars.
You could see what Coleman was doing. He pumped the ball and wanted somebody coming back against the grain. There's the gap there. Thomas Coyle has gone in. Unfortunately, there was nobody there to meet that pass. Good option, though, from Coleman.
But sometimes you've got to pull that ball back, haven't you, Barry? When things are for you, if you've gone through and you've called the play, you've got to look up and always play what's in front of you, and that option was not on then.
Of course you have, and sometimes you make the play hoping that your teammate's going to be in that position.
Fountain has it back for the Scholars.
Oldham have give the ball away again.
0.
Littler it was.
Hold. Go.
Knocked the ball on. Great opportunity now for the visitors then.
He'll have another go at it, Coleman. Here's where he loses the ball.
Go.
Jamel Coleman gets the ball away. It could be a second try here.
Go, okay.
Paxton is in the corner. No recourse to the video referee. And John Paxton puts London Scholars further ahead in this match. While Jermaine Coleman is seeking his first win at the 6th attempt since succeeding Callum Irving in June. And now Paxton gives London Scholars the first try of the second half. It's his 5th try of the season. And that man there will be delighted in the start to the second period.
We'll just have a look where Craig Littler just loses possession, gives it back to London Scholars. Again, they find the middle of the pitch. Jamel Coleman, he's already had one go at this. Double pump this time. Finds Paxman on the outside of the Oldham defence. It's Roden who can't close that gate enough. He's ball watching all the way through. What does the coach think? Get in there!
Well, John Paxton was a try scorer when London Scholars claimed their only victory this season against Workington. Is that an omen? Because as Paul Thorman prepares to tackle his second conversion attempt here, that's gone between the uprights as well. Is that an omen to give London Scholars another victory? They lead by 12 points to 4 now.
And that's not a bad effort, that, by Paul Thorman, to kick that ball from the touchline. But a real good start in his second half by John Paxton and his teammates. They really have come here to play rugby. And if you go back, Tony Benson, the man on your screen, will be really disappointed. But if you go back a couple of sets of 6 when Oldham had the ball, Neil Roden it was who went for a short little kick. He tried to dink it over onto Scholars 40. Oldham didn't push up, didn't get the ball back, and that's what led to all the field position for this Scholars side.
London Scholars looking to avoid the wooden spoon. Oldham looking to get into that grand final.
There is a lot at stake, Ben. They're fighting for that second position, fighting with York and Keighley. By getting in at second, it'll give them home advantage in the playoffs and a real chance of progressing through. They can't afford to fritter away points.
Oldham been in those last 2 grand finals. The National League 2 is concerned as Vine knocks the ball on.
Vine loses the ball, but was there an arm in there? On that angle, you've got to say yes, there was. But you've still got to make sure.
Got to keep hold of the ball.
You've still got to make sure you keep a tight grip of that ball. Even if there's a hand in and around the ball, you've got to make sure that you don't give the ref the option of going with a 50-50 call.
Let's go.
Oldham will be delighted to have possession back. Here is Littler. Nissen affects the tackle. Coyle. Short pass this time. Nissen in there again though for the Scholars. Brought Robinson to the ground. Here is Ash. Short pass for Bolts this time. Bolts finds Coyle again. And now Roden. Solid defence from Paxton there, the latest try scorer.
They really don't look troubled at all when they're defending their own line.
Short pass finds Goulden from Coyle this time. That was more promising. Vine with a good tackle. Last one. Coyle. Neil Roden. The kick bounces for
Drop out.
Iwanafu.
And again, he recovered well there, didn't he, Ben? A neat little kick by Roden. It bounces everywhere. It puts Iwanafu under all kinds of pressure. But he's that quick. He turns around and he pats it back. He's not taking any chances. Where's the ball? Where's the ball? Get it out. You've always got to be aware where that ball is. And Iwanafu was just quicker and more urgent there.
The Super League experience with the London Broncos. Iwanafu in 2000, 2001, 3 appearances. And it's Oldham though charging in from the restart. And Matty Ash goes straight in under the post. What an important try that could be for Oldham. Well, London Scholars with the first try in this second half, but Matty Ash hits back with only his second try of the season. And that is a vital try as far as the Ruffians are concerned. Scored by the junior Kiwi. Played at Blackpool, Rochdale, at Swinton. Looked as if he was going to be ruled out of this game earlier with that shoulder injury. He's come back in style to score first for Oldham in the second half.
Iwanafu just juggles with this ball. He has to get it out. Given the goal line dropout. And watch what Matty Ash does. Straight and hard. He delighted to get that ball down and more relief. Just look at that. There's a good catch. He's got time to pick who he's going to run at. He runs at Oliver Fountain, who cannot match the power of Matty Ash.
And it's Ash bidding to improve his own try. Hits the upright and goes over, so fortune smiles on Oldham again, and the gap is 2 points once more. London Scholars still ahead though by 12 points to 10. Tony Benson, well, I won't say he's quite impressed, but he'll certainly be happier after that try from Ash. And his second first team appearance in 5 days, Matty Ash, who was brought to the club really initially for reserve team duties, and he's put himself in the first team thoughts of Tony Benson straight away, and that won't hurt at all.
And let's not take anything away from Matty Ash for scoring that try, because he had to run straight, he had to run hard and really determined. But Oliver Fountain has got to come up with a better effort in defence there. He's got to put himself in front of the man carrying the ball, and he's got to put his shoulder to the grind.
And Matty Ash has given his forwards a blueprint for this game. Jamie Ianson hasn't played the ball properly. He ran strong, tried to play the ball as quick as he can. He's claiming that there are bodies in. Just look at him. There's no grip on that ball. Jamie Ianson drops it cleanly.
Heads in, guys, let's go.
More field position, more possession for the Scholars.
Chance for London Scholars then to hit back immediately, following that setback. Littler has it.
Go. 19, stay up, mate.
Now Fountain. Littler with the tackle, I should say.
2, release. Hold.
Fountain
go.
just 8 metres away.
7, you're set right.
Thorman, the danger man. It's by opposite number Coyle.
7.
There's another
7.
Scholars penalty coming here.
Thomas Coyle didn't get onside, and Thorman was organising things on this left, looking at Onyango. Thinks he can spot a weakness, Paul Thorman, whether it's with the pass or with the boot.
Wait for this play, guys, both feet. Go.
More pressure to be absorbed
1.
by Oldham.
Move.
Prison.
Hold. Play it. Go.
Honour. Thorman. Now Jamel Coleman. Coleman gets the ball away as well.
Short.
Hodson is short.
Tommy Golden done ever so well there.
Cold move.
But then they give the penalty away. It was Paul O'Connor who was lying on. Good play, good build-up play by the Scholars side.
London Scholars were only a midge's ear away from the try line then.
1. Move.
Oldham scored. Oldham
Hold.
stopping them from scoring, but giving the penalty away.
Williams was the first hit up, and then Thorman gives it some air.
2. Move.
That's Burke.
Hold. Go.
Good ball from Honour. They're over again, London Scholars. I think it's Matt Thomas who's got over there. Thomas with his 11th try of the season. Coleman delighted again, and just as it looked like Oldham were going to come back into this, Scholars hit back, had a couple of opportunities from penalties, giving them the field position, and Matt Thomas, with his 11th of the season, puts the Scholars back in the driving seat.
It's the width of the passing that's troubling Oldham. They do well to restrict and stop London Scholars from getting that ball down, but they give the penalty away. What do? They go right over to the other side, and there's enough Oldham players in the frame to deal with the threat. The ball is the threat, and Littler just fails to control that ball. London Scholars get another try.
Well, Matt Thomas knows what it's like to be on the losing side against Oldham. He got 2 tries in that heavy loss to the Ruffians in May. Has that try put the Scholars on course for a famous victory here? Thorman looking to improve it. It's not the easiest of angles for him. Looks good from Thorman. It's a great kick from Thorman, and the Scholars now lead by 18 points to 10. More problems for Oldham as well, because Phil Joseph is off the field, and we can hear the latest now with Rod.
Well, Ben, they are not going to be able to rely on the barnstorming, ball-carrying of Phil Joseph to get themselves back in this game. I've just spoken to the big man, and he told me that he's very, very doubtful that he'll come back on. He picked up a hamstring strain in the first half. He's got ice on it, and I think he's done for the night. Big problems for Oldham and Tony Benson.
Looked like he had some problems there, Tony Benson. London Scholars in possession in the shape of Williams, looking to hurt Oldham again.
Good line speed from Oldham there. It's unfortunate for the team that they can't get Phil Joseph back on the pitch. When he went down, if you remember, Tez, I said he had an hamstring problem.
Great work from Bolts to put the pressure on, and Thomas has evaded a couple of tacklers, gets up, allowed to continue by the referee.
Move, hold, go.
Now it's Fountain. Ollie Fountain muscling up against Ianson. 4 tackles gone for the Scholars.
Go.
Honour. Coleman
40.
got the ball away. He was under some pressure as well. And Greenwood to run it back.
And wasn't that a fantastic kick by Coleman? And the defence as well, they've really turned the screw. They're starting to get up, they're encouraging each other. And that's what you say, it's got to be a real big strong point from the Scholars. They're tackling in numbers, they're really trying to slow them up. And again, they seem to be winning the real big energy battles at the minute.
3 tackles gone for Oldham. Bolts to play the ball. Martin Roden to cousin Neil. Here is Kerr. High tackle. Will give Oldham a penalty here.
And that's it, just got to keep your focus. Kerr, he took a bit of a high shot. The Scholars players apologising for that, but you've just got to get on with it. Don't lose your focus of the job in hand.
It's Williams who gives that penalty away. Wayne Kerr, a former London Scholars player, former teammates. Sorry, mate, just clip you.
Oldham came into this with some poor form. Lost 4 out of the previous 6 games. And although there's a gulf on the table as far as these two are concerned, it's the Scholars who have their noses in front, but Goulden trying to do something about that. 2 balls on the pitch, the referee happy now. Momentary interruption as far as Oldham are concerned. How will they respond? Here is Neil Roden.
That was a good shot. A real good shot by Prison.
Go.
Martin Roden, Prison could be injured here. The pass though, on the bounce, it's found only Ollie Fountain. Fountain leads the counter for London Scholars.
Onyango was trying to strip that ball then. He was the only man in attendance. He could have done.
2. Move.
Just look at that.
Hold, go.
The pass is not found in the targets, and Fountain picks it up and makes good yardage for his team.
The high shot now on Jamel Coleman. I don't know if it was Bolts
and then
initially.
Bolts back chatting to the referee. Here you can see, there's the grapple tackle. Bolts trying to get him down, then Bolts again giving that penalty away. Tony Benson will be really upset with that. And now the Scholars and the captain, Paul Thorman, he said we'll go for goal. take them 10 points clear if they get this conversion.
I think Tony Benson was just consulting Harry Brereton there with the flat cap on. Well-known aficionado. There he is at the bottom of your screen, Harry. Been coming to Oldham many, many years.
Fellas, just step it back, guys.
Thorman,
That's fine, fellas.
again, concentrates. Knows how important every point could be. 8 points ahead at the moment. Puts them into a double-figure lead.
It's about on mine, and there's a bit of stoppage as well.
And
so
patience
a bit more.
from London Scholars, and they're just eking out every point that they can get. And Coleman,
Right, yeah, they couldn't play the
as you
ball.
see there, played 5, lost 5. Is he about to record his first win as the London Scholars coach?
Well, the Scholars have saved it for the Sky cameras, and they're really turning it on tonight. They're coming up with the best performance of the season, and you've got to say that this Oldham side are not giving themselves a chance. Every time they get down to the opposition's 20, they're trying to come up with that real big play to break them down. Instead of the way that Scholars are playing, they're playing as a team, and that is why they're in front at the minute.
Oldham's home form, very good this year, won 5 of 7 in the Championship 1. Only lost here to Dewsbury and Keighley.
Wayne Kerr looking to take revenge there,
Hold. Go.
trying to dominate. Just get up, just play the ball.
4. Move.
Kerr, a former scholar himself,
Go.
alongside fellow Irish international Stevie Gibbons.
5. Fine, guys.
Corey Sims
Hold.
tackled on the last.
Hold. Go.
Nissen. Jamel Coleman. It's another good kick under pressure from Coleman. Still not found O'Connor. Picks it up now, the former Widnes Tiger.
Coleman's got a real boot on him, hasn't he? He restricted the Scholars to 16 metres coming off their own line, yet he kicked the ball down the other end of the pitch, and now Oldham are just outside their own 20. That's an amazing kick.
Onyango has it.
Hold. Go.
Plays it for Martin Roden.
That's better from Bolts, just jamming it forward. The London Scholars defensive line didn't get back on side. Prison, who's had a very eventful game.
Here we are, fellas, here we are.
There's a few in front of the referee there. Oldham get the ball back. What can they do from this position?
Defensively, it would be fair to say Prison got them out of jail there.
Very good, Ben.
1. Move.
Oldham
Hold.
in a great position here, 40 metres away from that Scholars line. Neil Roden finds Baines.
Move. Hold. Move. Hold. Go.
Bolts has dropped it. Look at the frustration there from Jason Bolts.
And you know, the frustration there from Tony Benson, the Oldham coach as well.
London ball.
Bolts has really given it his all in this second half. He's took the ball to him, even though he was getting clobbered a few times, he was still putting his hand up to take it forward. But on that occasion, he had a little look up, seeing what was in front of him. Tony Benson,
Let's form it, guys.
Boltsy, what are you doing?
Second in,
Had
mate.
tackles in the bank as well there, Oldham.
Out.
The Scholars, though, in possession.
1.
Paxton,
Move. Hold. Go.
now Sims. Just takes the tackle himself. Patience again from London Scholars. Jamel Coleman. Feinted to go one way, came back the other. Picks out Thorman. It's Baines trying to get the tackle in. Littler does eventually, alongside Martin Roden.
Hold. Go.
Here is Prison.
He gets there in the nick of time.
Hold. Go.
Now Honour.
5.
Bill Joseph looking to retake the field of play with the physio there. Maybe he can play a part in this match.
Okay. Go.
Great kick pressure for Lucas Onyango to have to deal with.
Hold.
He does incredibly well to catch that ball. 2 London Scholars players are in attendance as soon as he catches it. For all you kids watching at home, Lucas Onyango never takes his eyes off the ball. He deals with the ball first and then takes his legs. Sometimes that's what you've got to do as a winger. Like to see him in open play though, Lucas. Very fast, very elusive.
Sure, Oldham would like to see him in broken play as well. Here is Kerr. Martin Roden. Now Neil Roden. Good ball. Finds Baines, and Baines rampaging through the centre of the field. Corey Sims gets to him. Tackle finished off by Spencer. They want the quick play of the ball and get it. Here's Neil Roden. Now it's Coyle. Coyle cuts through one. Coyle drops the ball off. He didn't really look. And lucky to come up with possession in the shape of Roden. Now Bolts and Kerr. Can they work an opening here? Oldham in the corner in the shape of Russo. The try is awarded. 2 appearances for Jamie Russo and 2 tries for the former Gateshead player. And more importantly, in the context of this game, a vital try for Oldham. Could cut the deficit to 4 with the kick to come.
Let's have a look at the early break from Baines. He just hits a nice line off a short pass, backs himself and makes the correct decision. He wants to play the ball. There's a bit of traffic in that play of the ball. Thomas Coyle puts it under his arm, throws it to nobody. Now it's about reactions, now it's about instincts. Wayne Kerr passes the ball, show and go, OMG, it's a try.
Paul O'Connor with the kicking duties, and it's a great kick from the fullback. Oldham just trail by 4 now, and that's got the crowd going. You can see the pink throughout the stand here, supporting those 2 local charities. Link for Pink and Dr. Kershaw's Hospice, as Jamie Russo on loan from Gateshead. I think it's his last appearance tonight. Just played the 2 games, scored in his first and now scored in his last. And Tony Benson anxiously looking to see how much time is left.
It isn't beyond Oldham to take this game away from London Scholars. By rights, London Scholars deserve to win it. They've done everything right. Oldham have frittered away a possession. Jermaine Coleman's done an excellent job in preparing his side to take on 3rd in the table while they're languishing near the bottom. He's done an excellent job. Who will win this game? Who are you going for, Tez, with 15 minutes left?
I think I've got to go, because of the sheer enthusiasm that they're playing with and the determination in the tackling technique that they're showing, the Oldham Scholars. Again, they've pushed the London Scholars, should I say. Again, I was giving myself an option there of a 50-50 team. I was going really close. They're defending like their lives depend upon it. They're turning up for each other, and that's what I've really been impressed with.
I'm going to surprise you now. I'm going to go for Oldham.
Well, London Scholars have led this match since the 5th minute, and they're going to have possession again here. Goulden berates his teammates there because he has knocked on. London Scholars have the initiative back, and Oldham continue to be their own worst enemies.
Oh, Goulden needs to be good there to pass that ball in traffic. Jamie Ianson with the ball in 2 hands, he was always going to pass it. Don't know whether Goulden was expecting it to go behind him. It's not the right part of the pitch to be trying plays like that. I'm just looking at the night that Oldham have with the handling errors that they've made. 17 on the night. That's enough for 4 games, that.
And the penalties as well. So not only have they lost the ball in possession, they've now given a penalty away. They're putting themselves under all kinds of pressure.
Well, they've got a 4-point lead, as we see the infringement here from Martin Roden, and they're going to go for 2 more points here.
I know I've backed Oldham to win this game, but I don't think they can do it if they keep surrendering possession.
You can't change your mind now.
Through thin and thinner. Jermaine Coleman, as I say, has done an excellent job. He's thrilled to bits. Look at the body language on Jermaine Coleman.
This for a 6-point lead then from the boot of Thorman. It's a successful kick. So London Scholars continue to edge ahead. Smile on the face of Jermaine Coleman.
Every picture tells 1,000 words. And look at the contrast.
And you talked about body language, Barry, and I'm looking at the way that Oldham players are carrying themselves now and the way that the Scholars are. And the Scholars, I say, in the first half, they look really confident.
Will really hurt Tony Benson's push for the grand final if they were to lose here. But on a personal note, as a former Scholars coach, of course, he is feeling this more than the rest.
Jamie Jansen could have been penalised for a high tackle as well.
Spencer moves in. Short pass for Sims.
Move! Hold! Go!
Spencer again throws a little dummy. Gets through one tackle. It's Goulden who comes in.
Move! Hold! Go!
Now Honor
Okay!
goes himself and then puts a great kick in. Bounces into touch on that far side, and that's exactly what London Scholars need to do.
An excellent kick from Honor. It just keeps that clock ticking over, wasting those valuable seconds. 6 points between the two sides. Gareth Honor just chooses to kick the ball out of play, get down for the scrum. He's taking his time. That's why the referee's called the clock off.
And again, it's about asking questions, isn't it? They're willing to back the defence up this end of the park. And every time that they seem to have the ball, look again, Oldham trying to promote the ball. On that occasion, they got away with it. But you've got to do something. Sometimes you've just got to do their hard yards. That is all the Scholars done in that first half. And they earned the right to go forward at half-time with that lead.
More sensible play there from Baines. There's the ball for Martin Roden. This time it's Menzies.
Move! Hold! Go!
Roden finds cousin Neil. Coyle delays the ball. Managed to get the ball away to Littler as well.
Move!
Good work from Baines.
Hold! Go!
Martin Roden, Coyle. Wider pass this time for Onyango, and then Onyango kicks ahead. Onyango looking to be first to his own kick. It bounces over the head of Sims. But it's London Scholars who are first to react in the shape of Gareth Honor.
Hold! Yeah, you're right, mate. Go!
And Gareth Honor done everything right there to get back for that ball, covering his teammate. It bounced over Lucas Onyango, and Gareth Honor turned up there. And that's where games are won, when you do these second little efforts. It beats both wingers, and Honor turns up. If he wasn't there, Oldham would have scored that try.
And he does a great job not to get pushed into touch. He gets a good low body angle, forcing Oldham just to effect the tackle rather than push him off the island. Here's another big boot from Coleman.
Well, it was Vine and Williams with the runs that put Scholars in that position, but Onyango is quick, and Onyango runs it back. He's burst through the first line of defence, and Onyango's still going. Another important tackle from Sims, and Honor upstairs. How long can they hold him down? Crowd baying for a penalty. Martin Roden finds O'Connor.
10 minutes left, just camp out down this end of the pitch.
Here is Neil Roden. Tackles in the bank for Oldham, and they've got a penalty now.
Paul Foreman there just trying to slow the play of the ball down. If you're going to do that, you've got to have body on body, not put your hand down. Here's Jamie Jansen.
Jansen gets the ball away to Baines, and Baines finds Littler, and Littler goes in for Oldham. Craig Littler awarded the try. It's his first of the season. The former Saints Academy man. Crucial try for Oldham at a crucial time in the match. Littler delighted.
I talked about wanting to see Lucas Onyango in the open. Watch what he does here. Late footwork, rides through the tackle. He has options to pass, but he's just not sure, so he takes that tackle. Here's the penalty that doubles up the efforts. Neil Roden held down too long by Paul Thorman. Quick reactions. Lovely footwork from Jansen, two-handed offload, quick hands, and Littler gets a greatly received try. Speed of thought here, all reactionary stuff. On the blind side, Oliver Fountain has no option. He has to make a decision.
Paul O'Connor has missed the conversion though. Had the chance to level it, but London Scholars hold that slender 2-point lead. The try from Craig Littler. One first-team appearance for St Helens as well. Got a try in that. The 23-year-old gets his first try of the season at just the right time.
Jermaine Coleman, they'll be sending on the message to his teammates, you've just got to defend there now. All that's happened, 2 points behind. Oldham are still behind in this game, so the pressure will be on them. They're the ones who've got to score. All the Scholars have got to do is come up with big defensive shots, like that one, control the speed of the rough. That is it.
Tez, I don't think there's many players on this pitch that can go the length of the pitch to secure the points for their side. So it's about getting down to their opposition's end of the park.
Here is Coyle. They're going again here, Oldham, with the shape of Onyango, who set that position up a moment ago. Plays it for Baines, and now Kurt.
Well, would you go for goal, Tez?
I think they've got to go for goal.
I don't think so. Pile the pressure on.
They're going to go for the try in the shape of Kurt. Had the chance to level things. Roden. Crablight gets out of one, and Roden's still going. Neil Roden, is he going to go over here? It's desperate defence from London Scholars.
Stand up, play the ball.
Martin Roden, off the floor, gets the ball away to Coyle, and Coyle will go himself. Coyle will give Oldham the lead for the first time. James Coyle, Thomas Coyle, a substitute tonight. He came off the bench early in that first half, and his 10th try of the season gives his side the advantage for the first time in the match. 2 tries in that 78-10 win at the Scholars in May, and now a crucial try here at Boundary Park.
On receiving this penalty for ball stealing, Oldham made the correct decision. Let's keep piling the pressure on. Inside, outside options for Thomas Coyle. Just watch what he does. He looks one way, looks the other, a bit of a rinky-dink, and gets the ball down.
One try in 9 Halifax appearances last year as well, Thomas Coyle. 3 Super League appearances with the Wigan Warriors as well, earlier in his career. And Paul O'Connor now with the chance to extend the Oldham lead. Missed it though. Still going to be really interesting, this game. Just 2 points the difference. Tony Benson will be happier. It's a really slender lead, and Jermaine Coleman just watching on as Coyle just tries to gee up the troops again.
The Scholars have given absolutely everything in this 75 minutes of rugby tonight. They've really had a dig, they've worked up for each other, but that was just the speed of the game. The last 5 minutes, Oldham have really lifted it. Now, I thought he would have went for goal because the confidence that they're playing with tonight. They made 17 errors, but that just goes to show that they're confident in the players that's playing the game for Oldham.
Coleman's gone for the short restart. Who will it come up with? Oldham knock on, so the Scholars get possession back. Great thinking from Thorman. The crowd don't agree. He really was the sharpest tool in the box there. And it's got the reward.
Yeah, that's the right decision. It's come off Russo.
You're right.
Gone forward.
Coleman tries to bat it back, and then it goes forward from Russo. Correct decision from Greg Dolan, who's had an excellent game tonight.
They almost lost it though on the very first tackle there.
Hold, go.
If there's any time now, you've got to find some energy and work for your teammate. It is now. You're on the verge of your second victory of the season. You've got to find something from within.
Williams plays it. Honor finds Prison.
Move, hold, go.
Honor darts in again. Goes himself this time. Picks out Thorman. Good pass to find Coleman. Coleman just stops, comes back the other way.
That was good defence by Jamie Russo, though, the left centre for Oldham. He come up and he shut things off on that right-hand side for Scholars.
Space for Honor to work in.
Move, left guys.
That was Nissen. The kick comes in from Honor, but they've come up with an Oldham in the shape of O'Connor. And O'Connor still going despite what looked like a high tackle there.
High tackle, no advantage.
They go back for the penalty now, the referee.
It was a good option and a very kind rebound for Oldham. Paul O'Connor's still on the deck. Still struggling a little bit from that challenge. He gets the ball here. He gets one round the head or neck area and keeps going. That's a good thing from Paul O'Connor. Nobody likes it to see players just flailing their arms, playing for penalties. Just crack on with stuff and let the ref do his job.
Wait, he's got to be onside.
Oldham will be the happier of the two sides with this delay. Every second counting against the London Scholars now, but they've come so close so far. Only 2 points the difference now. Goulden has it for Oldham. It's the Scholars who need possession back. Martin Roden leaps out to dummy half. The 29-year-old. Scholars surely will get their second bonus point in 2 weeks. That will be bitter consolation for Jermaine Coleman if that's how it turns out. Neil Roden finds Coyle, short ball for Baines. Baines' tackle, it's a great tackle as well from Sims. Now Coyle, short pass again for O'Connor. Can he get out to the tackle? Has to take it in the end. Last one. Martin Roden. Now Neil Roden. Coyle spins one. Speculator over to that far side, and they're in again in the corner. Lee Greenwood on the last tackle. Tony Benson applauds, but you can see from his reaction he believes that's the moment when Oldham have got out of jail. It's been a monumental performance from London Scholars, but is the 11th try this season from Lee Greenwood the moment where the two points go the way of Oldham, and Jermaine Coleman is to leave empty-handed.
This game can be so cruel. Oldham go from one side to the other. Watch the skill involved in this pass from Rousseau. He turns the opposite way, and because the London Scholars defensive line, he's busting the gut to get over where the threat is. It's not the best pass from Coyle, but it finds the target, and unfortunately for the London Scholars, there isn't enough players to make that tackle. They don't deserve to be on the end of this scoreline. They've given absolutely everything.
Lee Greenwood likes facing London opposition, played for the Broncos, of course. And O'Connor now looking to add his second kick, or second success with the boot. Just pulled that wide. It's 28-22 now in Oldham's favour. And they really have been given a colossal fright by this London Scholars side. That is the end of the match. The 3 points for victory go the way of Tony Benson's Oldham. But from that handshake there, huge respect between the coaches and huge respect for this London Scholars performance. They led for the majority of this match, and Paul Thorman will know, the London Scholars captain, just how close his side came to causing a huge upset. Only one win before tonight for the visitors, but Oldham's push for a place in that grand final at the end of the season is still on course. They've got Blackpool to visit, they've got York at home, and they've got Hunslet as well after this. But Oldham looking to finish second in Cooperative Championship 1 and put themselves in pole position for the playoffs. Goulden, it's the reaction of the players will show you just how close they came to a defeat here. 3 tries late on from Littler, Thomas Coyle and Greenwood. Crucial for Oldham. But the Oldham coach, Tony Benson, a former London Scholars boss as well, he will be a relieved man, and he's talking to Rod.
Tony, your hair's pink, but I suggest your face was almost red at the end of that match, wasn't it? What's your reaction?
Well, it was a very difficult game. You know, I think we defended very well, but we had to do far too much of it. You know, and full credit to Scholars. I mean, they turned up to play, didn't they? And being a TV game, I suppose they're inspired as we knew they would be. And you know, I know the Scholars are a good side, and they brought it up here and give it to us.
People might say that perhaps Oldham's attitude wasn't spot on. Maybe that you thought it was going to be too easy. Am I being unfair by saying that?
Definitely being unfair with that. I think it's more to do with Scholars playing really well. I think, you know, Scholars shocked everybody sitting in their seats there, apart from themselves and me, I suppose. Our boys were ready for them to play like that, and you know, they pushed us right to the end, but we came through and showed character, and that's what I'm proud of.
There have been some tough times over the last few weeks, we know, financially, and obviously players have gone to Barrow as well. Does that have an effect? Does that cause problems?
Not at all. That's behind us now. No excuses. We're just playing for finals now, and you know, we've got to come back from games like that. So I suppose it's all good. It's all in the learning process, and I think we'll be a better team for tonight.
And just finally, let's be positive. You moved into second spot in the table, so you can put the result to bed and look at the league table with a certain amount of pride.
Oh, exactly right, and that's dedicated to the people, the fans that are here tonight, and everybody involved in the club. You know, they've worked really hard to get there. It's not just the team, and hopefully it'll bring people down to the game against York on the 23rd.
Well done, Tony. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Let's bring in Gareth Honor, I think is the man of the match. Oh, there you are, Gareth. Sorry, I was looking across the other way. How are you doing? Well, I don't know where to start with it, Gareth, to be honest with you, because you took the lead in the 5th minute and you held on till the 75th. Are your emotions pride at the performance tonight, or real bitter disappointment that you couldn't quite nail down?
At the moment, I've got to say it's disappointment. Of course, you know, we were there, as you said, leading the whole game till the last 5 minutes. You know, the effort that the boys gave was absolutely unbelievable tonight. So disappointment now, but I think when we're on the long coach ride back home tonight, it'll definitely be pride, because, you know, that's our best performance of the season by a long way. And I think a lot of people have learnt about the London Scholars tonight, seeing that, you know, we can actually play, which we haven't shown a great deal this year, but we showed it tonight.
Yeah, people will look at the league table, Gareth, won't they, and say, well, where on earth did that come from, and why can't the London Scholars do that every week?
I know, you know, I think we're going to be asking that ourselves. Maybe if Sky wants to come down every weekend, maybe we can, maybe we'll turn it on like that every week. But, you know, it's something for us to build on. Unfortunately, only a few games left this year, but hey, we'll move on and maybe move on to next season as well.
Man of the match tonight, Gareth. There's £100 to the charity of your choice. No, I'm putting you on the spot, but where will that money go?
Well, I think they've done a great job here for cancer tonight, but I'm going to give it to a charity close to my heart, in memory of my granddad, so it's the British Heart Foundation.
Lovely, well done. Thanks, Gareth.
Thank you very much.
Let's bring in Jermaine Coleman, the coach London Scholars. It's not often that you say, in all honesty, well done to a losing coach, Jermaine. You must be extremely proud of what the lads have achieved tonight, but again, as said to Gareth, the disappointment that you didn't quite get it done in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, I think I've said it a few times lately. It's a learning process, and you know, we did really well tonight and put lots of effort in, and it's just about understanding how to finish it for 80 minutes and not doing 75 minutes. But it's going really well. Like I said, I can't complain about the effort, and the boys did really well tonight.
You'll probably see the pictures of yourself when you see the rerun tonight on Sky Sports. Your face was a picture for much of the match. It looked like you couldn't believe what you were watching. Could you believe what you were watching?
Yeah, definitely. And we've got the potential to do that every week. I heard you ask Gareth a second ago why we can't do it every week, and I suppose that's a question we have to ask ourselves now. If we can do that on the television, what's stopping us from doing it every Sunday?
There must be a massive positive, though, when you go home tonight on the bus, that you must think, hey, we can build on something here now.
Huge positive, huge positive. I mean, that's what we came to do. We came to show people that we can play and we are a good team, and despite the fact where we are in the league and what's happened previously, you know, that's not our London Scholars. That's not the Scholars that we know, and hopefully we did that.
Well done, Jermaine. Thanks for talking to us.
No problem, thank you.
So mixed emotions in the Scholars camp, but mainly pride after that performance. 28-22 the final score in favour of the Ruffians of Oldham. But my word, never mind pink hair, almost red faces here at Boundary Park. And Oldham, by virtue of that result, move up to second place in the table. Scholars remain on the bottom, and for all that effort, they just get the one bonus point. But they'll be satisfied with that. And Oldham now looking to secure that second place and give themselves pole position to get through to the playoffs. But, Terry, they're going to have to do an awful lot better than that if they are to get that second promotion place.
Well, let's face it, they do best side for 70 minutes, but this is just sheer class that they showed to set up that try. Thought Coleman had a real big influence in the second half. John Paxton going over for that try. But this is how you run onto the ball. Matty Ash was quite quiet in the first half, but he just gets the ball, he tucks it under his wing, goes straight and hard, and Oliver Fountain has got to come up with a better effort than that when he's defending. And then the Scholars, what did he do? They hit back. And Matt Thomas does ever so well to control that ball. He spins off the Oldham player, gets over the line. But then, here you go. Thomas Goyle, he gets the ball, he's weaving across the floor. It comes down to urgency. Who's going to pick this ball up? The Oldham players react to it so quick. They pass it out. Wayne Kerr gets the ball. Jamie Russo pumps the ball. Dummies the Oldham players. Dummies the Scholars players, and they look ever so devastated. Things going against them. But Jamie Jansen, the big lad, gets the ball. He offloads it. And this guy goes in, Craig Littler. But then they save the best set. Thomas Coyle, what does he do? He's one of the most enterprising players in this division. But this has come off the back of 90 yards that they've got. They've got the ball, they've took it under their wing, the never say die attitude, and Lee Greenwood just went in and got that try for Oldham.
sighs of relief then in the Oldham camp, and as we heard from the Scholars players, Jermaine Coleman among them, delighted with that performance, and they can build on that. Whether it'll be Jermaine Coleman building on that is the next question, of course, because there was a Scholars board meeting on Tuesday night. He, of course, is the acting coach at the moment, Callum Irving having stood down in June. Whether Jermaine Coleman will continue in the job, well, that's in the balance, and be interesting to see who has got the job. Apparently there has been an appointment made. The only thing that I've been able to glean from the Scholars camp is British. There was lots of talk of Darren Smith, among other people, being interested, but it sounds as though it's gone to a homegrown product, and by the look of things, he's got something to build on.
You'd like to think that Jermaine Coleman will be some sort of in the makeup, won't you? Because they've really turned out and they've played tonight. They've come up to Oldham, they've taken on a team that's really fighting to get that second spot. They're third in the table, and they've really took the game to them. And I think that the Scholars players, the way they performed tonight, they want to give themselves a pat on the back.
And Hector McNeil said on Boots and All last night, in fact, that they've taken a change this season. They've gone for more homegrown products, and fair play to them. It looks as though it's paying off.
Yeah, it is paying off. There's people there, there's players there. Honour, I thought, was very, very good, and there's pride in the shirt, and that's what the Scholars is all about.
And to think the bookies were giving Scholars a 56 start tonight. Whew, well, there you go then. Coming up,